Who else?
That's like,
Who
that's
else?
such a,
Who
that's
else?
such a
Who
cop
else?
out, bro.
Top been blown off last year about telling.
The name Big Meech has always been synonymous with street loyalty, power, and the infamous Black Mafia family, BMF. But now, shocking allegations are surfacing. Was Big Meech actually working with the feds? And if so, why is 50 Cent the one putting it all on blast?
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage.
The internet is on fire with rumors. Street legends are being questioned, and one of hip-hop's most iconic figures may have just been exposed as a rat. Let's break down exactly what's happening. For years, Big Meech was one of the most respected names in the streets, a legend, the mastermind behind BMF, the man who built an empire that influenced hip-hop like no other. But now, that legacy is being ripped apart by allegations that could change everything.
You know, he's doing his thing. I even know this game. Look, that 50 Cent Meech shit he did.
Yeah.
Word on the streets is that Big Meech may have snitched, and 50 Cent, who has made millions off Meech's story, is the one putting it on blast. Questions are being asked, and people are demanding one thing: paperwork. If there's proof, Meech's empire crumbles forever. If there isn't, why is this narrative spreading so fast? And then there's the biggest twist. Lil Baby, one of Atlanta's biggest stars, suddenly backed out of performing at a Big Meech homecoming event. Why? Did he know something the rest of us don't?
Yeah,
That's the dude's name that he allegedly told on. Because we gotta treat Big Meech with the same energy that we just treated Uncle Bang.
This isn't just another street rumor. It's a war of words, reputations, and truth. And by the time this is over, somebody's name won't survive. Before the headlines, before the accusations, before the TV show and the street legend, Big Meech was just a hustler trying to make his mark. Born Demetrius Flannery, he and his brother Terry Southwest T. Flannery started BMF in the late 980s. What started as a small drug operation in Detroit exploded into one of the biggest criminal enterprises in American history. By the early 2000s, BMF wasn't just moving weight, it was a cultural powerhouse. Meek and his crew weren't just making millions in the drug game, they were funding hip-hop, pushing rappers, throwing parties, and living like kings.
Up to life in prison.
In this case, the only two CCE defendants were the Flannery brothers.
But the case against Demetrius...
BMF had connections to the biggest names in rap, Young Jeezy, Gucci Mane, and even Rick Ross, who famously rapped, "I think I'm Big Meech." The streets loved him. The industry loved him. He was untouchable. But in 2005, it all came crashing down. The feds had been building a massive case against BMF for years. Wiretaps, undercover operations, and informants all led to a huge indictment. By the time the dust settled, Meech was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for running a massive drug conspiracy. His brother Southwest T, who ran the business side of things, got a similar fate.
U.S. Marshals tell me they arrested 37-year-old Ernest Dennis and 40-year-old Jonathan Manigo here outside a Buckhead hotel.
Even behind bars, Meek's influence never faded. 50 Cent saw his story as a goldmine, turning it into a hit TV show, BMF, which glorified the rise and fall of the empire. Meek became a martyr of the game, a symbol of loyalty, power, and street legend. But now that legend is being questioned. What if the man the streets worshipped wasn't as solid as we thought? What if somewhere along the way, Big Meech broke the one rule that matters the most? Because in the streets, once snitching enters the conversation, there's no coming back. And now with 50 Cent involved in pushing this narrative, things are about to get messy.
We went to Meech's house. We sat down with him, Lil Meech. And, you know, I thought, you know, big things in the future was coming, you know, because he was talking about stories about motherfuckers jumping in cars.
So how did we go from glorifying Big Meech to questioning his loyalty? The allegations trace back to Tammy Cowens, a woman who once held the rights to Big Meech's life story. According to whispers, she may have turned informant and helped build a case against a key BMF associate, Cuffy, a high-ranking figure in the organization. But here's where things get even crazier. Some sources claim that Big Meech himself told Tammy to cooperate with the authorities, effectively throwing Cuffy under the bus. If true, this would mean Meech was indirectly involved in a snitching situation, something that would destroy his reputation in the streets forever.
Well, you got a female that's running for you while you in prison, putting her life on the line. You entrusted in her to keep your secrets, right?
Cuffy's daughter has been vocal about these accusations, saying she grew up around Meek and never thought she'd see the day where he betrayed her father. She claims she's struggling to come to terms with the idea that the man she considered family might have been the reason her father is behind bars. But here's the problem. There's no paperwork. And in the streets, if you don't have black and white proof, it didn't happen. Yet the rumors haven't stopped. The accusations keep growing, and Meek's silence on the matter is only making things worse. Then, just when the controversy was at its peak, 50 Cent entered the conversation. 50 Cent is one of the most calculated and ruthless figures in hip-hop. He doesn't just talk, he strategizes. So, when 50 Cent started dropping hints that Big Meech might not be as solid as people thought, it sent shockwaves through the industry.
That this Tammy girl got his life rights and then turned into an informant and then told on Cuffy. So, at the end of the day, they trying to say that.
Why? Because 50 has made millions off of Big Meech's story. For years, 50 Cent has been heavily invested in Meek's legacy, turning BMF into a hit TV series and making sure the world knew the story of the Black Mafia family. If anyone should be defending Big Meech, it's him. But instead, 50 started distancing himself. Some fans believe this all started when Big Meech was spotted hanging out with Rick Ross, one of 50's biggest rivals. If there's one thing we know about 50 Cent, it's that he's petty as hell. Many believe this was the moment 50 decided to start exposing Meech, using his influence to let the world know that things weren't adding up.
The moves I make, I most definitely have an agenda. I don't do anything to piss off a little peon. You know what I mean?
Then came the real bombshell. Lil Baby pulled out of performing at a Big Meat homecoming celebration. Lil Baby had already been booked, the event was set, and then at the last minute he backed out. No official reason was given, but in the hip-hop world, when someone distances themselves from a major figure, it usually means something is off. 50 Cent, always watching the game like a chessboard, saw this and began to feed into the controversy. He started making cryptic posts, dropping subtle hints that maybe Big Meech wasn't the legend everyone thought he was.
When it comes to rap, a lot of these rap, like, so they, you know, everything is what's one don't look sweet no more, like.
And here's the thing, 50 Cent doesn't say things without a reason. Some fans believe 50 already knows the truth, that he's seen the paperwork and he's just waiting for the right moment to drop the hammer. Others think he's playing mind games, using this as leverage to keep control over the BMF narrative. Either way, if 50 Cent is turning on you, it's a very bad sign. Now, the big question remains, is there actual paperwork proving that Big Meech snitched, or is this all just a strategic takedown? Because if that paperwork ever surfaces, Big Meech's legacy won't survive. For years, artists like Jeezy, Rick Ross, and even Future shouted out Meech in their lyrics, cementing his status as a legend. But now, everything is being questioned.
To appear to be. But at the same time, I'm not wrong for asking these questions.
No.
That's it. That's it.
Everybody got their opinion.
It's not even an opinion. I'm literally like, this is what the people want to know.
Some in the industry refuse to believe the rumors, standing by Big Meech and demanding proof before judgment. Others are keeping their distance, not wanting to be associated with a man whose name is being dragged through the mud. One of the biggest red flags? Lil Baby's sudden exit from Big Meech's homecoming event. Lil Baby was set to perform at an event celebrating Meech's legacy, a move that should have been a no-brainer for an Atlanta artist, but at the last minute he backed out with no explanation. Was it just a scheduling conflict, or did he hear something that made him want to keep his name far away from this controversy? Then there's 50 Cent, a man known for exposing people when it suits him. The fact that he's subtly feeding into the allegations rather than shutting them down speaks volumes.
Man, listen, listen. It's in your blood, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all chose to wear life and stood on it. One thing I respect, Pop.
The streets are divided. Some say that BMF's legacy is bigger than one man, and even if Meech did cooperate, it doesn't erase what BMF built. Others argue that this is the ultimate betrayal, and if the allegations are true, it taints everything BMF stood for. But in the streets, there's only one thing that matters: paperwork. In street culture, accusations don't hold weight unless they come with receipts, and in this case, the receipts would be official paperwork proving that Big Meech cooperated with the feds. So far, no solid documents have surfaced. That hasn't stopped the rumors, though. Some say the paperwork is out there, but hasn't been leaked yet. Others believe this is all a setup, an attempt to smear Meek's name with no real proof. Cuffy's daughter, the one claiming that Meek told Tammy to inform on her father, has been vocal about her side of the story. But again, no paperwork. Until that black and white hits the internet, Meech still has defenders. But silence can be just as damning. People are starting to question. If Meech is innocent, why hasn't he publicly shut down the rumors? If Tammy really acted on his orders, why hasn't Meech explained his side? And if the allegations are false, why is 50 Cent adding fuel to the fire? The longer this drags out, the more suspicious it looks. In the world of organized crime and hip-hop, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
I was laying on you niggas to go do that, so y'all wasn't gonna hear the last of it out of me. I go on now, lie to the feds, and get called a rat.
It's guilty until proven innocent. And right now, Big Meech's silence is making people wonder if the allegations are true. So where does this leave Big Meech's legacy? If paperwork eventually comes out proving he cooperated, his reputation is done. The same rappers who once praised him will go silent. The streets that once idolized him will disown him. And the BMF brand, the empire he built, will never be looked at the same way again. But if the allegations are false, then who started this narrative and why? If the paperwork drops, Meech's fate is sealed. If it never does, this could go down as one of the biggest smear campaigns in hip-hop history.